Welcome again to another special episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast from the Illegal Shift Studio. Jason Kiefer, today you're looking at a new and improved Dan Carroll. I have seen the error of my ways, and I am a changed man.
Oh, my God. I love this.
So
he has risen, so has Dan.
My support for Trump all over these years has been misplaced. My support for all things conservative has been misplaced. I am now enlightened. I now see things clearly, and we should all do our part to see to it that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris serve another term as president and vice president of the United States.
All right. So real quick, I need to feel like I need to put a pause. I need to hit a pause button. All right. No, you're normal.
I know. I had some Twitter conversations over the weekend, and I talked to some very influential individuals, and here I am, a new man. I might not even drink this beer I have in my hand in my One More and I'm Out of Here coldie holder.
Holy shit!
How about that?
I feel like this is the day of reckoning. Christ rose yesterday.
Well, you told our listeners that Dan has gone Dem, and I don't want to disappoint. I think it's going to make a huge difference in our viewership of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. And if I am nothing,
I'm going to continue to touch you throughout.
I am nothing, I am here for the advancement of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. So there you go.
All right. So just FYI, there was a ... April Fool's, because I know that's not the case, and that's not the Dan that I want to be with. So fix yourself.
You're saying you don't want to be with me?
Can I smack your face right now to get you back into alignment?
I don't know. I've got my mouse here, but my cursor's not working.
Your mouse is now out of alignment.
My mouse is taking the day off. April Fools. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I haven't changed at all.
It was funny though. That was a good.
But I'm looking. My hair's doing this weird thing. It's got like a point right there. I don't want that. That's going to annoy me the whole podcast.
Yeah, you have a widow's peak.
I know, but it's. I mean, if it's okay if it's not like a. What was it? What was the name of that character on the Munsters? Right, Eddie
Munster.
I don't want to have the Eddie Munster.
Well, I mean, if our fans continue to download, rate, review, subscribe, and push it out to other people, then we could actually have hair and makeup people.
I know. And
maybe a producer to where I don't have to do the shit and forget the computer.
I wonder if since 513 got a little tingle in his leg when he thought I had changed my.
I don't think he's in yet, but he will be. I'm sure he will.
He missed all the excitement.
That's a good way to lead it in, though. I like it. Did you like the title? Dan had no idea about the title.
Well, I saw that when I sat down preparing for the podcast today, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go with it for a little bit.
I like it.
I know, but
nicely played.
Well, nicely played. Thank you. It was fun.
I'm Jason Kiefer, by the way.
It was fun. What is the deal with my mouse?
Well, you and your technology knowledge is not very good.
Well,
neither is mine.
Well, I was looking for our sponsorship copy because I was trying to click on it with the mouse so I could open it up. But big party going on at the White House today. They had the Easter egg roll and art contest
today.
And a lot of rules were surrounding the art contest at the White House for little kids.
A lot of rules.
Well, you couldn't. They had an Easter egg coloring contest. So Easter eggs are associated with what? Easter, generally speaking. Generally. I mean,
pastel colors.
Easter is what sort of holiday? A religious holiday.
Yes.
But the White House says we don't want any religious themed Easter eggs in our art contest. That makes perfect sense.
You get your Jesus the fuck out of here.
Well, they didn't word it exactly like that, but it was the same sentiment.
Well, I should have been a commander-in-chief.
So big party at the White House. I know they didn't contact our friends at Ohio Valley Productions, but it looked like they had a pretty nice setup anyway. But let's say you were going to have an Easter egg roll and you wanted to have, maybe a band and you wanted to have some fun and games for the kids. Well, then the one phone call you need to make is to our friends at Ohio Valley Productions. They've been a great sponsor of the show for a long time. And really, they've got the best people in the business. When you want to have an event, big or small, that is going to be the event to remember. Quality entertainment, and a team with, again, all the experience you need. If you have a vision for a great time, we will call this a now what's the word? When the bipartisan time. You can be bipartisan
or non-religious,
right? You want to call our friends at Ohio Valley Productions. Just drop an email to our buddy Dan at OhioValleyProductions.com. That is Dan at OhioValleyProductions.com. And we're getting into that time of year when people want to have the backyard barbecues and the outdoor parties and all that kind of stuff. So make that call now, because they will be getting busy as the party season
absolutely
unfolds before us.
His schedule fills up very, very quickly during the
bet.
summer. Festivals, all the things, private parties. So
I wonder if he's already got a gig for the Eclipse. I'll bet he does.
you think he's doing? He's nicknaming it "Total Eclipse of the Heart."
Well, that would be stealing someone else's work. So.
Well,
that's Joe Biden does that
with an asterisk. If he put an asterisk by it, it's fine.
Maybe. But if you're going to go to an Eclipse party, and I'm sure Dan Varden is going to be going to some event somewhere, then you want to make sure that you are outfitted with the proper gear. And that would be our friends at Engraved in USA, who can create all that kind of stuff. And you see the website there, engravedinusa.com. You see the phone number, 513-682-2557. And you want to call that number, because that is how you can get this. And you can actually go to the website and see this as well. A special vessel that they have made for your beverages, the Eclipse Cup. And have we settled on what size? 17 ounces? Is that?
It is
16, 17, 18.
It is a 12 ounce.
Oh, it's 12 ounce.
Or no, he did. I put 12 ounce. He said 17.
It is 17 ounce.
It is 17.
Okay.
We did
17 ounces of your favorite beverage, and you will be styling for the Eclipse this year. And it is a high quality piece of what do you call that? Cupware.
You can call it cupware.
Is that a term?
Yeah.
Is that a word? Is that a?
It's a metal cup that'll keep your shit cold.
You're like a thesaurus over there.
That's right.
Got all the words. So yeah, I mean, Engraved in USA.
Picture a metal red Solo cup, 17 ounces, $6, and every cup sold, $1 will go to Hurking's Heroes, going to our buddy Rob and his family. And the website for those is orders at engravedinusa.com. All together. Orders at engravedinusa.com. Yeah, they made those. I was actually kind of surprised they made them. And Rich was like, hey, put this out because we want to donate some more money to Rob's family. And
look at the date on there, 4/8/2024. That is the day of the eclipse. That is 1 week from today.
1 week from today.
1 week from today.
And you and I don't have our shit together yet.
Well, we hope to be in the path of totality. That is what I hope for. But I say, even if we don't get a hold of the people we're trying to get a hold of, I say we just go up there anyway.
Okay.
Because I have made plans for this since the first day I learned about it.
Yes, you have. You absolutely have. You got your glasses. You got your glasses ready.
Yes, I do.
But our friends at Engraved, put that not in a negative way, that gimmick out, because this is a big deal. I mean, none of us are probably ever going to see it again. I know I probably won't. I know Dan won't.
Probably not in my lifetime.
Not in your lifetime.
Unless I want to go to some far-flung corner of the world. But for it to be this close to our location, and the place we have to drive to is less than 2 hours away.
Is it less than 2 hours?
Less than 2 hours.
I thought it was 3.
No, less than 2 hours.
Well, Dan had some homework to do. We will figure it out, because we plan on trying to podcast from that. Hopefully that can happen. We will see. Dan had some homework, and he's going to continue to be on. I
made strides on that today, and if we don't podcast, we'll at the very least put some video clips out.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you will, because you have the iPhone. I don't.
You have an Android.
I got an old.
You have an Android that can still send me pictures.
I got an old Motorola right here. Gets the job done. That's all I care about.
Yeah. So we got some ad reads out of the way. Eclipse coming. Everybody, make sure you fill up on gas. From what the news mass hysteria is saying, fill up on your gas and keep your pets close.
Well, Jason, I hope you had a good Easter. I hope all of our listeners and all our viewers had a good Easter, or as we like to call it now, Transgender Day of Visibility.
Sorry. Did that? I actually did that. I thought I did that in my head. My bad.
No, you did. I mean,
well, your commander in chief, since you turned Dem, made that emotion.
The liberals
that out.
The liberals out there like to make a big deal that, well, Transgender Day of Visibility has been going on for 15 years now. It happened when Trump was president. Well, I don't recall Donald Trump ever making a White House proclamation about Transgender Day of Visibility.
Correct.
Because even though I understand that these days, like Transgender Day of Visibility, are very, very, very important for the transgender community, because as it is now, they just don't get any recognition at all. We constantly hear they're only less than 1% of the population. Why do you get so bent out of shape whenever we try to do one little thing for the transgenders? Really, the one day that they have for visibility, you want to take that away. You feeling me?
Why are you such an asshole?
What do you mean, why am I such an asshole?
Why are you trying to take that day away?
Because I'm just a bad person, I guess.
No, I
think
it's absolutely ridiculous, and I'll use a term that I always use at home, redonkulous, in the fact that we have to make a declaration / proclamation to go out to every government entity that this is what we're calling that day. I think it's ridiculous.
So I found a couple of interesting things about this today. Joe Biden was asked about it at the Easter egg roll about Transgender Day of Visibility. And let me dial this up where he was asked about that, because the reporter was at there was a handful of reporters at the White House asking Biden some questions today. And so when the reporter asked about why did you declare it, why did you make the declaration about transgender visibility today, Biden said, I didn't do that. He said, I didn't do that. I
literally got an email about it.
I mean, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, put out a statement that was really, he was slamming the White House a little bit, but it was pretty tame, and really nothing all that. And Corinne Jean-Pierre was asked about that today, and she goes back and talks about all this misinformation. You people just don't know what you're talking about. In fact, I think you have that video. Let's hear what Corinne Jean-Pierre had to say about that today.
All right, hold on.
There we go.
Bear with me, because I've so many tabs open. I got to figure out which one it is.
I know. I did send you a lot of video last couple of days.
But you know what? It's better than you sending me nothing, which I love.
Sometimes I do send nothing.
Here we are.
All right, here we go.
The criticism over the Transgender Day of Visibility, the White House said that the president wouldn't abuse his faith for political purposes. Does the president think that's what Republicans are doing?
I mean, look, just a couple of things. And really so surprised by the misinformation that's been out there around this. And I want to be very clear. Every year for the past several years, on March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility is marked. And as we know, for folks who understand the calendar and how it works, Easter falls on different Sundays, right? Every year. And this year it happened to coincide with Transgender Visibility Day. And so that is the simple fact. That is what has happened. That is where we are. And I do want to say a couple of things because I think it's important here.
Pause it right there.
So this bitch makes me want to punch a baby.
There you have Corinne Jean-Pierre acting as if, well, it's Easter, that falls on different days of the calendar because it's always on a Sunday. So it's not always going to be the exact same day. And look, we can't help it if you crashed our party. Your Easter got in the way of our Trans Visibility Day. That's essentially what she's saying right there.
The misinformation.
So I may be wrong about this, but I think Easter Sunday has been around a hell of a lot longer.
But and I will say
than Trans Visibility Day.
No.
It's a wild stab there.
That's one
going out on a limb.
It's one argument that I cannot fight you on. I try to fight you on a multiple things, but I can't fight you on that one. But the fact that, I mean, our buddy Dexter Pitts posted like the declaration, from the president's office.
Yeah. I've got it right. I can read the whole thing if you want, but I'm not going to.
No, but I mean, it's been posted multiple times on different, Instagram pages of friends of ours. I saw it. I got it. I get an email for, whenever the flag needs to go to half staff for the firehouse. I got it. This is what we're calling today. No, I'm calling it fucking Easter, you fucking clown.
And the thing is, he did it on Friday. We were podcasting on Friday, but it happened after our podcast.
Correct.
So we didn't have a chance to comment it.
Oh, dude,
comment on it on Friday.
I just smoked that fool.
All right, let's hear more of Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Sideshow Bob coming at you.
As you just stated in your questions, what we've been hearing out there, a lot of misinformation done on purpose.
There's no misinformation.
And as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American.
He's got smoke.
Now, sadly, and it's not surprising, right? It is actually unsurprising that politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. It is dishonest what we have heard the past 24 hours. It is untrue what we heard over the weekend.
This lady she is the worst fucking speaker ever. And I love when Peter Ducey just blasts her. And I was watching a bunch of TikToks last night, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you're on TikTok or not, and whether you agree with it. I was going to send you some of where it was Peter Ducey's greatest hits is what it's titled. Where he's blasting that stupid fucking bitch.
He's awesome, man.
She is a fucking moron.
Ducey is so on his game when he goes there. So,
and I love when she goes, "Okay, guys, good talk. Bye."
So what was her final thought on that? That this president wants to uplift everyone, bring everyone together, right? So curiously, though, the White House proclamation of Transgender Day of Visibility was absent from the White House Spanish language social media sites.
Weird.
Didn't appear on the Spanish language one. I wonder why. Because the Spanish language speaking people are highly religious, predominantly Catholic, predominantly Christians. Yeah. Let's see. The day, according to this is the Daily Caller website, was created by a transgender activist in 2010. Been marked on March 31st. To commemorate the day, the main White House Twitter and Facebook accounts posted Transgender Day of Visibility, though the Spanish language accounts, La Casa Blanca, did not contain that message. I wonder why.
It's so weird.
I wonder why. And then look, if you're a transgender and you love this Transgender Day of Visibility, we always hear about how these people want inclusivity, right? Accepting of everyone. Why can't you make an accommodation and maybe look ahead and say, oh, guess what? Our day of visibility falls on Easter Sunday. Maybe we don't want to intrude on our Catholic and Christian friends and neighbors. Maybe we'll move it to a couple of days before or maybe a couple of days after. Because as I said, there's literally zero recognition for these people. Yeah. I mean, look, they do have a day though in February. On February 7th, there's National Black HIV and AIDS and Awareness Day. Not exactly the same thing, but pretty much caters to the same group of people. Then there's one more, February 28th. HIV is not a crime awareness day. So that's in fact. And then in March, they've got just a few days in March. The entire month of March is Bisexual Health Awareness Month. So they have that.
Where is the Kiefer needs more money for his pension day?
March 10th.
Is that March 10th?
What?
Oh,
March 10th, National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day.
Thought that was my day.
March 31st, International Transgender Day of Visibility. That's what we just had. Then we get to April. And coming up on April 6th, we're just 5 days away from International Asexuality Day. Then 4 days later on the 10th, we have National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. Then on April 18th, we have National Transgender HIV Testing Day, combined with April 18th, Non-Binary Parents Day. So you see, there's really hardly any recognition of this group at all.
Would you like me to put this graphic up on the screen just to go with?
For instance, that's the Democrat Party and how they ruined everything. I love that one. For instance, in May, we have May 17th, International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia. The first Sunday in May is International Family Equality Day. On May the 19th, we have National Asian and Pacific Islander HIV/AIDS Awareness Day.
Are you going through the whole year? Because please don't.
I'm just trying to make the point
that
there's barely any recognition of we just act like this group doesn't exist whatsoever.
Because Elizabeth Pittman said stop with all the days minus National Donut Day.
Well, I haven't even gotten the June 28th Stonewall Day.
I know we don't.
Or June 30th Queer Youth of Faith Day. Those are very, very important. International Drag Day is in July.
We have all kinds of days.
So, I mean, it's ridiculous. That fine. And here's the thing: if Joe Biden would not have made this declaration, Easter Sunday would have come and gone. Our transgender friends would have had their day of awareness, and no one would have known that these 2 days were coinciding with each other. So you can thank the numbnuts at the White House for causing all this uproar. And look, I'm not the most religious guy. I went to Catholic school. I have a pretty good idea of what Easter is about. It is, and I've heard on the news, well, it's one of the holiest days of the year for Christians. No, it is the number one. There is no day on the calendar more important to Christians and Catholics than Easter Sunday. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It is the main day. The number one day. And to infringe on that is an absolute slap in the face to people of faith and people who have deep, deep meaning associated with the risen Christ. The Jesus Christ rose from the dead on that day, and that's the day we recognize and celebrate that as Christians. Do you think that Joe Biden would declare International Day of Transgender Visibility on a Muslim holiday?
Oh God, no.
Would that ever happen?
Oh God, no.
I don't think so. So maybe I'm done talking about this, but
absolutely ridiculous.
There's only about
30 more.
30 or 40. Well, I mean, the whole month of October is LGBTQ History Month, and we all know how important that is. But see, on Transgender Day of Awareness, we're supposed to celebrate all the historical contributions that the LGBTQ community has made to America and its founding and its greatness. I don't know what those contributions might be, but we're supposed to celebrate.
I could go so many different ways, but I don't want to get banned off YouTube yet.
One of my favorite, though, is October 26th, Intersex Awareness Day. I really marked that one on my calendar. Yeah, I look forward to that.
Well, you have an Android, so it doesn't. These all come up on my phone. Not really. Not really. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, there's an entire Transgender Awareness Week, November 13th through the 19th. this day couldn't be included in that week somewhere?
So let's be real. Let's be real about this. With all of these dates in the different months that you put out,
One of my favorite is pansexual, panaromantic Pride Day.
I can help that pan dilemma. Pan dilemma. Old school reference or Step Brothers reference. Fucking,
I mean, for God's sake,
dude. So all right. So let me ask you this question: with all the dates that you just shouted out,
I did skip over a few,
and there's a ton in there. If we are such a country so divided, race was the big issue. Race was, we were so divided by race. Now we have the trans stuff. Be trans, be gay, do your thing. I'm good. I'm completely good with you. I'll hang out. I'll drink beer with you. I don't give a shit. But why aren't the African Americans getting pissed off? Because February is Black History Month and always has been. Ever since I was a young child, we went through Black History Month.
Yes.
Going through school. And you learned about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You learned all of these things to change the way our thought processes were, because the way they were in the past, I don't agree with. And we've learned from these mistakes. But now all these motherfuckers have all of this time. But Black History Month is only 1 month. And then you have Juneteenth. So you get a month and a day.
A month and a day.
Month and a day.
Yeah. What about veterans? How many days do veterans get?
That could be a whole nother topic.
I mean, there is Veterans Day. Then there's like Armistice Day and a few others sprinkle it in that
but
are
not
geared towards recognizing veterans and their sacrifice. But there's no United States Veterans Month.
But just looking at your computer, the way you had the days listed, it's like 180 days a year.
Yeah,
that they get. And I'm being facetious, but I mean, it was a lot. It's a ton.
Well, I haven't counted up exactly how many days it is, but at least a third of the year. We spend a third of every calendar year celebrating, or I guess we're supposed to be celebrating, transgender and
I'm not
bisexual individuals.
I'm not celebrating it. You do you, and guess what? We will coincide within the world. We'll drink beers together. We'll chew dip together. I don't smoke cigarettes, but we can do whatever. But you don't need 18,000 fucking days throughout the year to celebrate every part of it, of a choice that you're making. You need to assimilate into, get the support that you need if you do decide to go that route with trans or being gay. That's fine. Assimilate in and make friends. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's how life is. That's how I do it with any other straight person or a white or a black person or an Indian person, Chinese person. Hey, I want to go up and meet that person. Hey, I'm Jason. How are you? How hard is that? But I don't need a whole goddamn month to say, hey, look what I did. Well, that's so fucking ridiculous.
When the agenda is to be in your face. It's just like the when we first started having gay pride parades. The idea is that you would have a couple of dudes up there in the parade and they'd be smooching and making out for the shock value, right? To do what? To get attention, to have people stop and say, "Oh my God, look at that!" I mean, there was a time in this country when it was unusual to see that sort of thing. So when you have this community that declares, and they're doing all this to say, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then if you do look at them, well, then they want to point the finger at you and say, why are you looking at me like that?
Right. Yeah.
And they say, looking at you like what? Wait, look at that look on your face. You're a transphobe. And so when you go out there with an axe to grind, you don't do yourself any favors. At least to my way of thinking.
Oh, tab paid.
All right. So look, if all Joe Biden had to do was not issue a proclamation, or maybe I'll put the proclamation out a day or two after Easter, or maybe a day or two before, so it doesn't happen. Doing it on Good Friday is bad enough. Good Friday, another pretty important holy day for Christians and Catholics. But for God's sake, I'm just...
Yep. No, I get it. I mean, timing is everything. We've talked about that, and we are terrible at it.
It's just a slap in the face, and all that, and Corinne Jean-Pierre, all this nonsense about wanting to bring people together. No, this alienates. And look, if you're a Christian and you're a Catholic and you vote for Joe Biden, you gotta really think about what you're doing.
All right, I'm changing gears. I'm changing gears.
Please
gears. Please do. I needed to. So we're gonna hit FDNY again.
Oh, excellent.
So we covered a little bit a couple weeks ago where there were a whole bunch of FDNY guys chanting Trump when Letitia James came up to speak, and she's like, "Oh my God, we're in a house of God," simmer down and all this bullshit. And then they were going headhunting. Well, I found this article amusing today in the fact that FDNY firefighters forced to remove a flag honoring 9/11 heroes after lefty poll questioned if it's a political symbol. So as I read through this article, here's the flag. It's a thin red flag. We a lot of our listeners, pay attention to or part of Failure to Stop. Thin blue line, thin red line, thin yellow line. We got dispatchers, we got firemen, we got cops, we got military. This flag has been on this truck forever. And some stupid libtard, a constituent of one of the councilwomen in that ward.
Maybe someone named Karen. The same person that you made friends with at the gas station that one day?
Yeah, fucking Karen. So ladder 11 essentially was forced to take this flag off of their truck because, and let me get down to it because I want to get the quote from their battalion chief. Their battalion chief was told, go down. I mean, it's the way, shit rolls downhill. So the battalion chief shows up, said it was claimed to honor deceased firefighters. However, the constituent brought up that they could have used the FDNY flag rather than a politically charged symbol, which drives me absolutely fucking crazy.
Politically charged according to who?
It's popular opinion or personal opinion. Not popular opinion, personal opinion. I'm trying to get down. There was a whole lot of shit.
Well, my thought about the thin red line flag, because there's a one that an American flag that is essentially black and white or shades of gray. One has the blue line in it that represents police. The other one has a red line in it that represents firefighters. My thought about that flag has always been is that it is a recognition of these first responders and what they do for the rest of us. I don't see how politics is connected to that.
Well, here's and
okay.
and I'll get into that, and you let it in perfect. The rule was implemented in 2020 by then Commissioner Daniel Negro and then First Deputy Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh.
Oh, there we go. We've heard that name before.
During the height of the anti-cop Black Lives Matters protest. So FDNY apparently made a rule that they needed to take all of those off. So let's see. Where's it at? Hours later, now Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief of Department John Hodgins reversed the decision and allowed the flag back on the truck, but it took like a week. because this happened like March 22nd, but they started being bullshit about it. Their battalion chief came down.
Well, let me stop you right.
Go ahead.
So you said the commissioner, Ms. Kavanaugh, allowed the flag back on the truck after what?
Hours later, now Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief of Department John Hodgins reversed the decision and allowed the flag back on the truck.
See,
we're happy with the outcome of this.
Should have never been made from the beginning.
But we're offended it happened in the first place,
Yeah.
said a Ladder 11 firefighter. So their battalion chief, and I was trying to find, as I'm sharing this screen, and I know I keep scrolling, so I'm sure that's probably annoying. But their battalion chief said, look, dude, I know it's ridiculous, but hey, I'm being told it's got to happen. Take it off. But then once they got enough pushback, they reversed it. But this has been going on since either March 20th or March 22nd. Because somebody in the neighborhood who was a constituent of and a friend of one of the council members in that, I can't remember if they go by wards up in New York or not. Somebody bitched and said, hey, that needs to go.
Yeah. I think the council members in New York all have certain wards, which areas that they represent.
I know Chicago does wards. I don't know if
I think New York does it in a very similar way.
But either way, somebody made a phone call and said, I'm offended and this hurts my feelings and I don't like it. Yeah. Fuck you. Those guys laid their fucking life down on a fucking line for you to fucking be there to be able to complain. So fuck off.
But why can't the leadership of the fire department have the hanging down things and Miss Kavanaugh? That's, well,
she's got big labia from what I hear. Is that what you're speaking of?
Well, I'm speaking metaphorically.
I'll say it.
But why can't she just come out from the get-go and say, you know what? I know she should know as the commissioner, she should know what the flag represents. Yeah. She should be able to say to that constituent that you're misguided on this. You're looking at this the wrong way. Here is why the flag is going to stay on there with my approval.
Isn't that amazing having a conversation and explaining something to somebody?
Right.
Isn't that amazing how that works?
Yeah, and that's the same thing I saw and that's one of the big things that bugged me when I was in the television business is because if I said something on the air, which I was prone to do, that rubbed some people the wrong way, well, we might get an email. And there was more than one occasion where my boss said, Dan, we got an email from a listener, from a viewer who was a little upset with what you said about X, Y, or Z. We need you to respond to this. And a lot of times I said, wait, you got one email? One email from someone who was so moved to write. And they were,
you should respond to every email.
They were wringing their hands. The email didn't come to me. It went to management.
I know.
So,
but you should.
I was fine. I was fine responding to it, but they were acting as if, oh, you got to do it now. You got to do it now. They're so bent out of shape about one person having a disagreement with what I said that I had to respond and smooth it over. But I never once, and the responses that I did have, I never once said, I apologize, I'm sorry, because I wasn't sorry for what I said.
You stand by it.
But I always looked at the email and used their words and essentially gave their words back to them. I thank them for watching the program and explain if I said something that might have rubbed them the wrong way, just try to give a little clarifying statement, revise and expend my remarks. But no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go out there and apologize. If I say something that is truly offensive and something that may result in a serious lawsuit against the station,
you offend
that
me
would be different.
You offend me every podcast.
Well, that's
so I'm going to send you a strongly worded.
That's what we're here for.
And I just hope you respond.
Don't come into the one more and I'm out of here studio. You can't stand the heat.
I'll tell you not to come in because it's in my house.
But this is a good example of conservatives versus liberals.
Yeah.
And I sent you a video of a guy, I believe he's from Texas, in Texas.
Oh, that guy.
Doing a little fishing, and gives a pretty good rendition of the difference between what I call libtards and conservatives. And I would like to share this with our viewers whenever you're ready to dial that up.
Yeah, I just got to remember which one it is.
I just saw it a second ago.
Stand by.
As you were scrolling through the video.
I know, but it's different. You're looking at something different than I'm looking at. I have 18 fucking thousand.
But I sent you a lot of these yesterday. It was Easter Sunday, and I'm scrolling through my social media, and it was one video after the other kept popping up, and I was like, yeah, I got to put this on. I got to put this on the podcast. I like this guy a lot. I don't know his name, but he's pretty good.
Doesn't like a gun, they just don't buy it. If a liberal doesn't like guns, they want to outlaw them for everyone. If a conservative is a vegan, they don't eat meat. If a liberal is a vegetarian or vegan, they want to ban meat products for everyone. I've found if a conservative is gay, they live their life and respect other people's choices. If a liberal is gay, they demand respect, even if it has to be legislated. If a conservative is down and out on their situation, they think about, how can I improve? How can I better where I'm at? I'm Misty. If a liberal is down and out, they want someone to take care of them. It's everybody else's fault. If a conservative doesn't like a talk show, a TikTok, they simply switch channels or swipe up. A liberal, they're going to demand that that video be removed, that that talk show be canceled. If a conservative is a non-believer, they simply don't go to church. If a liberal is a non-believer, they think all religion should be removed from every facet of life. If a conservative believes he needs health care, he goes shopping for it or finds a job that'll provide it. A liberal, they're demanding that the rest of us pay for their health care. It should be universal. A conservative, he realizes that they're responsible for their emotions, their responses, their actions, their triggers. A liberal, they want to blame their triggers, their issues, their misfortunes on everyone else. They never take responsibility. If a conservative watches this, he's going to forward it to a few of his friends for a laugh. A liberal is going to try to get it deleted, taken down, because they're offended, they're triggered. What do you think?
I like that guy a lot.
I don't think he's wrong.
I think a couple of his examples are a little bit extreme, but I think the message is there. And that to me is just a great example of some of the differences between liberals and conservatives. You see something you don't like, guess what? You move on. You don't watch it. You hear something on the radio you don't like, you turn the station.
You turn
the TV. You see something on TV you don't like. Now, for a bunch of liberals, no, that's not good enough. It's got to be done away with. And this guy lays it out, I think, pretty darn well.
No, I think he did.
I
think he did well. And when you said that to me, I watched it and I was like, "That's a good one. We'll keep that guy."
Yep.
Some things you sent me, I'm like, "Yeah, that goes in the trash can." But you and I obviously align, not completely, but we align. Pretty much in the same way. But we are in a very, very volatile situation right now, leading into November. And I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. Because, I mean, I have, obviously, my household and your household are a little bit different. But we're both friends. And we'll be curious to see once, if the Drinking Bros are calling him Papa Trump, if Papa Trump comes back in versus if Biden stays back in. It'll be interesting to see like how our world changes, because we've already seen some of the detriments. In my opinion, I call them detriments. Some Cincy 513 may look at it as a windfall, and I don't know how, but he will. When that vote comes down in November and we get the count and we know who won, be very curious to see where some of these people stand on these social media platforms. Guys and gals that either agree with that guy that we just showed or agree with Cincy 513 who follows our show. We're in, I almost feel like we're in fucking Thunderdome in Mad Max. It's what I feel.
Great movie.
It's what I feel like right now. We're swimming in a sea of uncertainty of, all right, so who wins and what changes? Because I'm watching gas prices.
Is it a roller coaster of emotions?
It is a roller coaster of emotions every day for me. And I'm gonna segue, if I can find this one
to
that you sent me.
The grocery store video.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that exactly. That's the one I was thinking needs to go next.
How perfect is that?
And the reason I sent you this is because my wife has decided that Friday evening is the best time to be at the grocery store because it's not crowded. And so when we did our podcast last Friday, that's what I did. I went home, met the wife. We went to the grocery store. She was up there.
That was a nice date.
She was up there. There's a nail salon that's a couple of doors down from the grocery store. She was getting her nails done. So I jumped on the motorcycle, rode it up there. It was a nice night to the grocery store, and we went grocery shopping.
You guys had a nice date night at a grocery store.
Well, I don't know if it was nice. Nice to get on the bike a little bit.
It's a date night.
Not real well.
It's a little bit.
Is that where I'm at in my life? That date night is a trip through the grocery store.
Well, you
through
said
the produce.
I mean, I'm suggesting it. You just said
buying some celery and chicken broth.
Yeah,
that's a date night.
That's time spent together, sir. Time spent together.
There you go. We did buy some tater tots.
There you go. Thank God. All right, we're playing this one.
I love this gal.
Let me show you Biden's fucking America for those that still want to vote for this asshole. Are you ready? Because I'm in the grocery store right now. So let's go. I'm sorry.
Hot chance.
$6.19 for Lay's potato chips. Let's go to ground beef. You ready? Ground beef before the discount is $12.58. Now it's $10.02.
Not exactly what it is.
Let's go to some fucking steak. You ready? Okay.
These prices are about
all of you that want to continue voting for this fucking scumbag. Okay, let's look at the steak. Oh my God, $39 for 2 steaks.
Yeah.
Before the discount.
Nice.
Shall I go on? Let's go over here. Oh my God, $64 fucking dollars for I don't even know what it is.
Standing rib roast.
Before you vote, think about the prices of food. Got it?
So it's pretty good video.
It's fact, and that will hit everybody somewhere.
The prices on the chips were higher than what we have here. But I mean, the best price I saw, and this was just last Friday. I was at the grocery store. The best price I saw for a bag of like Lay's potato chips, like $4.50 for a bag of chips.
Yeah,
and I mean, it used to be $1.25 in the grocery store. Maybe $2. You get 2 for $4, 2 for $5, something like that. Those days are over. $6 something for some barbecue chips there at the grocery store. But the meat prices there are about the exact same as what we have here.
Yeah.
I looked at a thing of steaks the other night, and it was a couple of nice ribeyes, bone-in ribeyes. Yeah, $39, $36 for a couple of steaks.
Did you go down to the right to the green meat bin? Because that's where I go.
Trust me, I'll look in there.
That's what we do at the firehouse.
I've pulled stuff out of there before.
We are bargain shoppers at the firehouse.
You're like eyeballing it. You're like, this one will be all right.
Yeah. I don't see
little extra time on the grill to be just fine.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah,
I love that cow.
Now, when you sent me that one, I was like, that is perfect because I absolutely hate grocery shopping. Jill does all the grocery shopping. We typically click list, but we may actually, you know what? I'm gonna.
You click list. Now, see, I have no idea what that is. What is click list?
It's where you just Jill will shop while we're watching whatever show we're watching.
Okay.
Online.
All right.
And then it's set up for delivery or pickup at, the next day or 2 days from now. You can set it up. So she rolls up.
So someone goes through and pulls your items.
Correct.
And they're there waiting for you.
Correct.
Huh.
Now, sometimes it gets a little bit fucked up. If they're out of something, they will.
Yeah.
They'll fill in or whatever. But I always tell Jill, I said I'd rather hit my dick with a ball peen hammer than go shopping.
Oh, it sucks.
But when you were talking about going shopping with Paula, maybe that'll be a date night for me and Jill. I'll tell Jill I'll go shopping.
But she is right about one thing, that it's a lot less crowded for whatever reason on Friday evenings.
Isn't that a nice date, though? Going Krogering.
We got there, I don't know, 6:37-ish, something like that. So,
see, I like midnight shopping. You go midnight, you're good.
Yeah, you got the whole store to yourself then.
Yes. Boom. You can knock it all out.
Are they still there? I know there was a time when the grocery stores, the Kroger stores here, stayed open 24/7. Do they do that anymore?
This Kroger's still open.
24/7?
Yeah.
The big one?
Yeah.
Is that the one you go to usually?
It's the one I go to.
All right.
Unless I have to grab something really quick, then I go to the little one. See,
I don't like the big one.
We're afforded the opportunity of having two Krogers literally within 4 miles of each other.
And they're getting ready to build a new giant one in Eastgate.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, grocery shopping is absolutely terrible. And it's just as terrible as going to the BMV, Dan. I'm going to tell you about
okay, you were there today.
I'm going to tell you about my BMV story.
Was this for the F-150?
No, this was just for my address change.
Oh.
I want to make sure that
right.
I'm legit and I'm legal and I'm good to go. So I had no idea, and I don't know if you know, Ohio BMV, you can change your address online. So you can log in. You've got to go through a bunch of hoops.
Surprised you didn't do that.
I did.
Okay.
But I went through a bunch of hoops. But so then they sent me something in the mail to where it says it had like a little perforated cutout. Cut this out and keep it with your license. So it showed my new address. But I'm supposed to keep this little slip of paper with my driver's license. I'm like, okay. I'm a registered voter. I want to vote. I am moving into, even though I'm literally moving 1,000 feet as the crow flies, probably from my address the house that I own to the house that I reside in. I want to make sure that my voting district is changed and correct so I can vote.
So between here and there you actually have a different polling place?
Yeah.
How about that?
My polling place used to be the church down on
8 Mile.
On 8 Mile.
Yeah.
The church. Now it will be Summit.
So you're the school. Now you're the school.
Now I'm the school.
Really?
So I want to make sure my shit's right. So I'm doing the right things. So I go into the BMV.
See, I would think that the school would be a big enough polling place for the entire neighborhood that we live in.
You would think that.
I would think that.
But it's not. But that's
maybe I'm wrong about that.
That's not the case.
All right.
So I wanted to make sure I was good, especially moving forward to November. I want to make sure my polling place is correct because I'm going to vote for our next president.
Make your vote count.
And also, we have a vacation plan. We're going out of the country. So I want to make sure my fucking ID matches the fucking place where I live.
Pretty important.
Instead of this little slip of paper that I'm supposed to slide in front of my goddamn driver's license.
Do you have your passport, sir? No, but I've got this little piece of paper.
Well, I have a passport too, but I'm over redundant. I'm over redundant, and it freaks me out. So I go to the BMV April 1st on a Monday. Probably the worst time I probably could have went.
The one in Batavia?
No, I went right up here in Anderson.
Okay.
Fucking packed.
Oh, my God.
Packed full of people.
I hate that.
So I just sit there and I just mess around on my phone. And I'm checking Instagram, make a couple Instagram posts, whatever. But the people watching, I love. Like, I love being in an airport, watching airport people. I love BMV people. But then I start to get pissed off because, in fairness, nobody knows what documents you actually have to bring.
Yeah.
Online will tell you, bring this, this, and this. You bring this, this, and this. And they'll say, well, you need A, B, and C. Yeah, you're fucked. You got to go down to the title office. You got to do that there.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
Gotta go to Batavia.
I watched that like 4 or 5 different fucking
That's
times.
why I always go to Batavia, because they can take care of everything down there.
Well, I watched like 4 or 5 different fucking people, and I'm just sitting there, and the couple next to me, real nice old couple, they're giggling. They're like, these people just don't know. I'm like, I'm just waiting for my number to be called. So I go up, and the lady says, and this is something I didn't know, you don't actually have to change your address on your driver's license. You have like 3 years to change your address. To me, it seemed if I change my address where I physically live, I should probably change what's on the card. So if a law enforcement officer does pull me over, everything matches up. That's the way my mind works. Apparently, that's not the way the fucking Ohio BMV works.
Nah, government doesn't work that way.
That's fucking weird to me.
Well, you got to be lenient about everything.
So I had the option. I could get a duplicate because I wanted the address on. I mean, hopefully Joe doesn't kick me out, but I wanted the address on my card. So she was like, well, you can pay for a duplicate. My license is due up the end of, in November of this year. She goes, or your other option is you could just renew it and we can put that on there. I'm like, well, that's essentially what I asked you to do. Because I'm not going to do a duplicate and then come back in November and do it again. So she's like, do you want 4 years or 8 years? I'm like, well, let's do 8. Let's push it out 8 years.
I don't want to have to come back here.
I don't want to do
for as long as I have to.
I don't want to do the vision test again. That's where my head was. If I get 8 more years and not having to do a fucking vision test, I'm good.
Did you press your forehead against the thing today?
Yes.
Read the letters?
I did.
Read line number C, please.
I found out my right eye is really, really bad. Wow. So if you're driving on the right side of me, anybody out there, just be careful. I mean, I saw the lights. I saw the flashing lights, but she had to tell me.
It's your peripheral vision. Yeah.
She had to tell me 3 times because I'm renewing early and I'm choosing to do this. Well, you're really not getting 8 years. You're getting 7 years. So then I had to argue with her a little bit. I said, well, we're only in April. So I'm getting 7 years and a little bit. Just me being a dickhead.
Yeah. 7 years and a little bit. Yeah.
She goes, well, no, you're only getting 7 years.
For God's sake.
I said, yeah, just go ahead and ring it up. It's fine. So I should be receiving my new license here in 2 weeks.
Well, congratulations.
As she said.
Congratulations.
And I pushed that bitch out for 8 years, but I implore you to do the same.
I don't need to change my address.
No, don't change your address. Go renew your license and then do it for 8 years. Push it out. 8 years.
I mean, yeah. If I have that option, I will.
Because you're a lot older than I am. So I'm
an excellent driver, though.
Yeah, but your vision is not great. So
my vision is pretty fucking good.
I'm saying do it.
I need readers to read, but I can see everything else.
I'm saying do it now.
I'll probably see better than you.
I had no idea that you probably can.
All right. Okay. We got a couple videos left. We're running out of time.
Oh yeah, we're definitely running out of time.
Do you want to do the fat guy one, or do you want to do the holding your breath one? Let's do the fat guy one. I love the fat guy.
Where's the fat guy one?
You didn't get the fat guy one?
I got
the guy who identifies as fat.
Oh, I have it. Hold on, stand by. Stand by. No, because that's definitely.
Oh my God!
I thought I pulled that one over.
Says instant classic, fat guy.
Yeah, I know. I have it.
I saw this one on the X. I guess it was yesterday.
Oh, I have to fix it.
And we can close out with this. But
this one is very entertaining, and this is probably one of my favorite ones that you sent me.
yeah. And is it self-explanatory, or do we need to set it up?
I don't think we did.
All right. Guy's trying to get in a chat room, identifying as an overweight gay individual. I love the conversation here.
You got to make it big.
This is a queer fat club.
I'm queer and fat.
Okay, thank you for joining. We're just introducing ourselves at the moment.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Joe?
Yeah, my name's Joe. I go by he, they, and I identify as 275 pounds.
Okay.
I feel like Jay's kind of making fun of me, though. I know it's kind of a shock. I know, kind of a new thing.
I'm just,
Do what?
I said I apologize.
Oh, no, you're good.
Are you comfortable leaving the group at the moment?
Why?
I'm not understanding why you're joining the group.
This is the queer and fat group now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I came here for.
Okay. And you said you identify as fat?
Yeah.
Okay. This is just for fat-bodied people.
Yeah, I understand. I identify as a fat-bodied person.
I'm not understanding where you're coming from.
Are you guys comfortable with me here? I mean, I'm pretty chill on my end.
I'm not comfortable, no.
Can we take like a vote?
I'm going to ask you to.
So why? All right. So my question is, why can he identify as that
Well, you can identify as anything you want.
and get ridiculed?
He's pointing out the absurdity of the current state that we are in when it comes to our society.
So yeah,
We've got all these people identifying as all these different things, and he is forcing them to look at objective reality.
Dan, I am now identifying as a beer can,
Ah,
and you need to refer to me as such.
but they're looking. These people are. They have their own little club there, and he's saying, "I'm one of you," and they're looking at him, and they're looking at objective truth, and they're saying they're reflecting what the truth of the matter is. They're saying, "No, you're not a fat guy.
You're not allowed in this club because you don't look like us."
Yeah.
Is what they're saying.
right."
But it's weird because when you go into sports and you want to fucking identify as a female or as a male swimming,
track and field.
There
There was a
hold on.
Yeah, I did. Well, let's go. I mean,
We got time, bro.
you pick out the man in this photograph. I love this one.
I gotta find it. Which one is that one? God damn it.
This was from a recent track and field competition. I believe it was in Britain.
The fucking, I mean, the hypocrisy is just amazing to me.
So we're all supposed to look at that and say, yeah, that's a woman. That's a woman competing against other women.
My name's Bruce.
But somehow, if we say
C.
that's
You gotta say Bruce C.
that's a dude, then there's something wrong with us for pointing that out. But yet this guy goes in there and says, I identify as 275 pounds. Well, you can look at the guy and see he might be 110 pounds soaking wet, maybe less than that.
Liz Simmons said, is that Michelle Obama? Nicely played.
So no, I love that guy because he just by doing that shows how ridiculous these arguments that we have over this stuff really is.
Get rid of that. This guy. So we have our stupid guy of the week. I think we should play that.
All right, let's see. Should we say? I'll say one more and I'm out of here on this one with a dumbass of the week.
I don't want to waste any of the videos.
Well, I can save it for next time.
No.
But this guy, not the
same. Like, man, bro, you need to clean it, hoe. Man, I looked at myself, I said, hold on, let me see my shit.
I just saw
myself. I swear to God.
Just shot myself.
Oh my God.
All right. So,
how many times do you go out on runs and see stuff like that?
I've definitely seen some people shoot themselves. Now, I will say I'm going to give a huge shout out to Jill in the fact that I was at work the other day. Wilker, I just shot myself. I was at work the other day, and she thought she heard something in the house. She wasn't sure what. Her and Brody did the Paw Patrol. The lieutenant colonel took the lead, ran the house to make sure nobody was in there. But she was like, "Hey, your gun's in the nightstand, right?" I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Is it loaded?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "There is not one in the tube, just so you know." Because Zoe, I mean, Zoe's never going to grab a gun and just start pulling a fucking trigger. She needs to know to be able to rack it. So I said, yes, it's loaded, but you're going to have to rack it. If you're going to have to use it,
got to rack it. She knows where the safety is.
But we had that conversation, which means that she is very cognizant of a firearm and how it works. And this fucking idiot sitting in the back seat, probably getting ready to, I'm gonna judge bigger than shit, and you guys can blast me, and I don't care. But probably getting ready to go do a drug deal or go rob somebody. I'm painting with a very broad brush. But if he's carrying a fucking gun and doesn't know how to use it, he's that ignorant. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And he got everything that he fucking deserved. And then it's me that's showing up, watching this little bitch cry in the back of a car because he shot himself in the fucking leg. Oh, I shot myself.
Well, yeah, he's showing off for his buddies,
Yeah,
and
fucking idiot.
He's got his finger up against the trigger, and he's trying to rack it, trying to get around in the chamber, and he pushes the trigger at the same time and shoots himself.
Yes, I'm still profiling, just FYI. And I'm okay.
Sorry, the guy's an idiot.
He
knows he's an idiot. And if he doesn't know it, well, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I'm gonna hit one more segment, and then we're out. Because
all right,
one more segment, we're out. Only because it's been so long. It's been so long, and I've missed this.
Oh, I did have a question though.
Oh, I have an answer. Maybe
if Deadleg would have done that to himself, would he know it?
Yes, he would know it.
He would know it. Okay, all right.
He would know it. I mean, his legs aren't completely dead.
Okay,
just his soul.
Just curious.
It's just his soul that's dead.
Like, oh, I barely felt that.
If you guys have watched or listened to the podcast, you've heard the segment of the teacher student relationship segment. Well, I found one, Dan. I found one today.
All right.
And it's not brand new. It's not breaking news. But a former Washington high school teacher avoids jail time after having sex with a student while husband's on a hunting trip. So we didn't cover this one originally, right? So my question to you.
So Dan, this says Washington high school. Is that Washington State?
Yeah, Washington State.
All right.
It's like Spokane area. She ended up getting 2 years probation.
All right.
Her and the kid both denied the fact that there was any nefarious things going on, but then it ended up coming out. And again, every one of these, he sent a screenshot to a buddy, and then it got out, and people talk.
Well, of course,
instead of keeping their fucking mouth shut. Now, you haven't seen this.
It's a good rule of thumb. You tell one person, everybody's going to know.
I'm not telling anybody. If I'm a high school student, I'm not telling anybody that I'm having relations with that. Not happening. Keep your mouth shut. Have your fun. Do your thing. Now, meanwhile,
well, that's it. I mean, it's not not a glamour shots pick, but
she's not a fat fucking pig.
Well, no.
But her husband's out on a hunting trip. So
you're not telling anyone so you can keep on rocking or what?
Well, yeah, so I don't get in fucking trouble. But my question to you,
All right.
my question to you is, do you, if you're in that situation, do you tell a buddy that it happened? You're a high school friend. Do you,
All right.
do you tell your peeps? Do you gloat about it?
If I'm in high school and
It's
I'm
a very
hitting
simple
that,
question. Yes or no? You're bagging a teacher. Are you saying it? Are you talking about it?
it depends.
Why? No, you keep your mouth shut.
If I was a kid once. I'm trying to think what would my 16 or 17-year-old self do? At some point, I'd probably tell some of my buddies I was hitting that. But they're probably hitting that too.
And that's exactly how this shit gets fucked
That's
up.
how it happens.
That's how it gets fucked up.
But today with the social media,
The
everyone's got a telephone, a camera on their telephone.
The other question,
it's a lot worse.
The other question with that, because apparently it was happening while her husband was on a hunting trip.
Well,
all right, so let's hypothetically say,
yeah, what was he doing on the hunting trip?
Well, no, Jesus Christ,
I'm
no.
just saying.
That's not where I was going.
Just saying.
If you're the husband that comes back and realizes that your old lady is banging a high school kid, where's your thought process?
I'm probably done. Probably, most likely, probably yes. That's it.
Deeply mentally, are you comparing? Like, oh shit, is he better than me?
I'm not. No, no, I am not. If
it's a fair question,
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about the performance of a 17-year-old.
Okay, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. These are questions that just hit my head.
I mean, she. What? How old is she? Early 30s,
25,
late 20, mid
25.
So her husband is probably
7. She is 7 years older than him, 7.5.
So the husband is probably about the same age.
I mean, you would guess.
You would guess maybe in that same age grouping. At that point in my life, I'm not concerned about a 17-year-old getting it done where I couldn't get it done. I had enough confidence in myself back then. Now, if I had to go up against I'm as old as I am now. If I had a 17-year-old, I might be a little concerned.
Well, on that note, instead of
probably got me on the stamina end at least.
Oh, facts. Oh my God, you just fucked me up there.
I'm just being honest.
So
if our show can't be about honesty, what is it about?
This is
guys hanging out at the bar, having a couple beers. That's what our show.
This is not a dare class. Everybody don't do drugs, and obviously, if media has shown us anything, don't bang your teachers.